Welcome to Unit 5. We are going to talk about communications and the World Wide Web. Make sure you read the introduction before starting out, and I'll mention a couple things about the objectives. Protocols allow computing devices to communicate, okay? And so we will talk about starting with your device and what protocols are used for that device to communicate to other devices in the cloud. Okay, so basically most people just see their device, but they know very little about how that is able to communicate back and forth once it connects to a network. This was a little bit of repeat, and we'll just talk a little bit more about the different attributes of wired, wireless, and fiber optic and how they connect. We'll talk about addressing. We'll talk about logical addressing, which people will see have to do with what they call IP addresses, and then we'll talk about physical addressing, which will be a media access control or a MAC address. And we'll talk about the relationship between them and why it's important to know those. Okay? This will be a review. We'll go a little more in depth, make sure people understand LAN and WANs, and more examples of how we use those. We'll do quite a bit of work with some web pages, keeping them up to date, everything from doing your own HTML up to using some provided software for websites and the issues involved with those. We covered that a little bit in the previous chapters, and we'll distinguish between uploads and downloads, which seems easy enough, but we'll talk about file transfer and some issues with that. Once we understand this chapter, then that will help us better understand the chapter on security, or I should say the unit on security, which is Unit 6. And so that will be enough to get us started.